How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner, coming in hot. I got a fun fact. Bingo bango. Sharks are older than trees. That's what you get.
Oh my God. Sharks are fish. Screw my stupid opening fishing news. That's all you need to know. We're just going to blow right past everything that I had looked up. And
They're older than trees.
what the fuck, dude? Where did you hear that?
Smithsonian Magazine.
Holy shit.
Saw a stat and it was like, hey, look at that. And then I was like, what? How does that even work? Don't they need oxygen? And I'm like, well, I'm sure there was like seaweed giving them oxygen in the water. You don't need to have air outside. Right. It's like nuts.
Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. Well, also like grass. Like grass is crazy, does crazy things. So like grass was definitely on land before trees.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And they're still probably putting out oxygen enough to get trees going or whatever.
Right. Holy fuck, dude. That's crazy. Well, I try to hit him with the fishing news or with some kind of fishing news now at the beginning, but I don't know if mine's even going to hold up.
Dude, because I do
have one. Yeah, I do have one, and it's actually going to lead into the topics because the topics, it's a podcast. You click on it, you probably already know. We're going to be talking muskies, and we're going to talk about what are we watching?
All sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm. But this is actually a muskie story that I found during my research. Over 100 inches of muskie in the same net.
Like gill net?
It's no. This was just a big old muskie net. Like a round fishing.
Yeah, and like
net to pull
like it was like a 3-peat? Like 100. You could have over 100 if you had 2 giant fish.
There you go.
Bingo,
so outdoorlife.com coming in hot with the story. Some fishers from Illinois were getting guided through Green Bay, Wisconsin, and they caught 50-inch muskie and then a 53.25-inch muskie.
And then put it in the same net.
They put in the same net because they unhooked the first one, the 50-inch muskie. He unhooked it, and it was still, the guy didn't stop moving the boat.
Right.
Because he's got 9 lines in the water, and he's like, nope, just keep going. I always keep moving.
Oh, damn.
So he pulls the hook out. Other one goes, keeps reeling, and he's got the net and the fish, just like keeping... I'm sure he's got it in the net just trying to like revive the fish, right? Because a fish that big needs some reviving, right?
Yep.
And the other rod goes down. And they start bringing it in, and he's like, "I'm gonna need the net." And the next thing you know, he nets a 53.25 inch. So he's got 153.25 inches of muskie.
That's
giant
crazy.
Fish. Isn't that nuts,
dude? What's really nuts is that guy had an opportunity to take a photo of having 250, like one in each hand. People do that with bass all the time. 2 bass, like
right.
That guy had 2 50-inch muskies that he could just be like, "What's up?" Like, what a flex! That's dope.
It was 2 separate people, but I know what you mean. Like that guide could have been like, "Look what I just
did."
Yeah.
I mean, even if it was 2 separate people, like when do you get the opportunity to have 2 of those fish in the boat at the same time?
Right.
That doesn't happen.
No.
People
so
call them
crazy.
People call them the fish of 10,000 casts, which is a misconception. It doesn't take that many. It's just that's what people end up taking or did take in the past when they weren't actually searching for them with big baits. They're like trying to catch something else, and then they caught them. But another cool thing about that is some people too have this idea of like they're like loners. Like, this is my territory. I'm holding this down. And that guy caught 2 like right next to each other. Because they will they'll sit right next to each other.
Oh, okay.
They don't necessarily attack each other. They're cool. You know, like,
They're cool.
yeah. And when they're like the same size fish, especially 50 inches like that,
Yeah.
they're probably just
Oh,
like hitting the same school of fish. And
right.
that's just proof that they're totally right next to each other sometimes.
Right. Right. That they're not just the elusive, like, lone wolves that everybody's
Yes.
sort of
Yep.
thinking that they are, right?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Because like you can cast out, catch one, and then sometimes you almost feel like, well, not going to catch another one. No, you can. He's right there.
It's right. It's literally right next to it.
Yes. And I've never had a two fish day because I don't go super hard, but I have had
Right.
where I've had a follow before and then put it together. Like, all right, it was
Oh.
in this pattern, you know, like
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
it was off this weed edge, this blown point. Like, I'm just like, I got to follow. He wasn't interested. I'm sure it's not going to come back and bite. And then I duplicated it, found another spot in the lake that was exactly the same. And sure enough, I got another follow. And I had a three
Oh,
follow day once. Hit three
oh
different
shit.
spots and had three different follows. And it's like so gratifying when you're like, I
I
know I
bet.
figured them out. I know where they are. But at the same time, you're like, I had three of you fuckers follow and none of you bit. I found you. Why can't one of you eat the damn lure?
Why the fuck? We'll get into that in the actual topic when we start talking about muskies. We're going to get into that more. But Tim, I have questions quick while we're on this. Is 9 rods in the water at the same time? This has to be a guide thing, right? We can't
It's
do that.
You said it
This is
was
a
in
commercial fishing
Wisconsin?
thing. This was in Wisconsin. Yes.
Yeah, I think they got different rules over there.
They must just have. Okay.
Yeah, because even a guide can't have. It's one per person in Minnesota. So you could do that if you had 9 people in the boat, but that's the
Right.
only way it's going to work here.
Sure. And he
But
had
yeah,
100-pound braided line, 80-pound test shock leaders. I don't know what that test shock leaders means, but
I don't either.
okay.
Test shock. Maybe that's a brand.
Oh,
Test
okay.
shock leader. I don't know.
Yeah, but the leader's the part that comes off of the line itself, right? Like that's what it means. Is
Yeah,
like
the leader's the part that it like can't bite through because a 100-pound line, excuse me, is. So I'm drinking beer. For anybody listening, I got some. Victory Golden Monkey, 9.5% alcohol per beer.
oh fuck yeah,
Get a nice 2 beer buzz going after you drink one. It's perfect.
yeah, dude.
It's
2
fantastic.
beer buzz after one. That's what
After
you're looking for.
2 beer buzz after one, you drink one and you're good. But
Hell yeah.
uh, the 100-pound line is strong enough to like hold 100 pounds,
Right.
but it still can be cut through because it's braid. So the leader material is oftentimes like if it's dingier water, you can get away with metal. They have literally it's metal leader,
Oh, yep.
so the fish teeth can't bite through. Or
Right.
I use fluorocarbon ones on
Okay.
like
Yeah.
clear because I fish clear waters a lot. But the
Yep.
fluorocarbon are like thick as hell, man. And like
Yeah.
I don't even know what to compare them to. Like you can't bend it. Like if you bent it, it would stay
It would
kinked.
just. Oh,
You know,
nice.
like
It wouldn't
it's
snap, but it would stay kinked.
right. Like that's how thick it is. That like if you
Yeah,
bend it over, it's gonna fuck it up. Well, I think
for
that
sure.
happens
For
with all
sure.
fishing line, but it'd be really evident with a thick old.
Right.
And
Yeah, that makes
fluorocarbon's
sense.
very very abrasive. I don't know. I know it's like made different than regular fluorocarbon line. It's very tough, so the fish can't
Oh,
bite
okay.
through it. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Cool.
I'll have to look into that leader. What'd you say it was called again?
A test shock. That's what they said.
Test
80
shock.
pound test shock leaders. I didn't know what test shock. I was like, I don't know. I gotta ask Tim. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
check it out. Get back to us. I want to say this before we get into it. I mean, we're gonna do housekeeping really quick here in just a second, but these are 100% stocked fish. So that Wisconsin DNR has been doing work. We will get into that when we actually get into our topic, which just so happens to be muskie. Well, I mean, they're kind of related because I saw it while I was looking shit up. But anyways, let's get into the housekeeping. We are on Amazon Music. I know I said it last time, but there's been some technical difficulties continuing. And I really feel like we're getting right down to the problem. We should be taken care of by the time this podcast actually airs on Monday, because remember, the Real AF TV podcast drops every other Monday, and on our off weeks, we split the topics up. On Wednesday, you get the fishing topic. On Friday, you get the random take on the off week. That is over on YouTube. Look us up, REELAF TV on YouTube. Subscribe and all that shit. You know how it goes. But
Yeah.
don't forget, if you got Amazon Prime, you got Prime Music or whatever, and fucking podcasts work. And I believe now, from the last podcast, that we have it figured out, that our podcast will work. At least the majority of the episodes will work on Amazon now. So fucking
Nice.
give us the follow or whatever, you know?
Yeah, whatever you do on Amazon.
Yeah, because I actually don't know, even though I use
Ship
it.
us for free.
Get our free podcast for even more free.
Yeah.
But if you can, go over to patreon.com/realaftv. Remember, real with the double E in the middle. At the $5 tier, you can get early access content. You can vote on one of our random takes, and you can get exclusive Real AF TV behind the scenes updates, because that's it. $5 a month. Go over there, shoot us $5 a month. It helps us take care of these technical difficulties and shit like that we've been running into, because podcast, dude, the platforms are changing. The internet's changing really quickly right now. There's so many security things that are going on. It's bad news. As an IT guy, I don't want to get into it, so I'm going to stop there. Let's fucking talk about fishing, dude.
Yeah.
I have this topic titled as the mythological muskie, because I feel like, because I feel like there's so much. I feel like there's mystery around it. I feel like this is a fucking fish that has, like we already talked about, the lone wolf about it. The like, how do you even find a lone wolf, right?
Yeah.
Like, it has this weird lore around it almost.
Yep.
And maybe that's me as a northerner. Maybe that's me as a Minnesotan. But guess what? They only live up north. So
Right. No, there's a lot of weird tales, a lot of misconceptions. It's odd, super odd.
Yeah.
Like,
see, so this isn't, I'm not just being a weird not in fishing dude. Like, I'm not just being the guy who doesn't. That clap didn't even show up on the audio. It's crazy.
I kind of heard that myself, where I kind of did it and it didn't make noise, and then like, am I in some sort of a vacuum? I don't know.
No, your mic is dope. That's what that means. Oh, that one showed up.
You bitch.
Got that mother. You got a skeeter in the house?
No, still got fruit flies, dude. We have like
I
a
don't
million. We have like a million fucking traps, man, and I cannot find the source where they keep coming from.
They're the worst. I hate them.
I hate
Let's
them
not
too.
dwell on.
Yeah,
let's not dwell, because
okay.
So I'm
this
not
one
crazy.
was just like in my face. Like,
I know.
Normally they're like in here, but this one's like right here, and I killed
This one
him.
is bugging you. This one is casting a shadow on your face.
Yes.
By the way, you can get the video version of the Real AF TV podcast over on patreon.com if you just give us $1 per month.
Yeah, come and see the
We're
silent
still in
clap.
beta mode, man.
That's a myth too. Silent claps. The silent clap. Come and check it out. This is rumors.
Go check it out.
It's just like a muskie.
But yeah, I mean, so I'm not crazy.
No,
like,
there's like a lot of weird
around
stuff.
the muskie.
Yeah, there's so much weird shit. Like, people are just like, hey, we would throw hot dogs out and the muskie would come and eat the hot dogs, and then because it ate the hot dogs, then it would think that people's toes were like hot dogs, and then it would come and bite your toes, and you're just like, no, it fucking didn't. Stop it with that shit. You can't get them to bite your lures. You think it's just going to come and eat your feet? You're fine. I've never met a single person. Like, I have seen pictures of people that have been bit before, but
Okay.
But I don't know if it's muskies. I don't know. They show like these giant like slashes in their legs, and I'm like, I don't think that was a muskie. I don't know. Like, I've held a muskie before. They have relatively sharp teeth.
Sure.
But they don't. It just doesn't look like. I don't know. What would a. Nobody knows what the bite mark of a muskie looks like, because nobody's ever fucking been bit.
Well, and that also makes me question, like, this adds to the myth, right? Is that, like, did they just kick a really sharp weed, or was there some debris in the water that they kicked and they thought they got bit and they freaked out and swam away, you know?
Yeah.
And they know there's muskies in the lake.
Right. Yeah. And so like we've played Frisbee in the water before, And like I've gone to dive for a frisbee and literally like jumped, and as I'm going, I look down and I've seen a muskie, and then it swam away because they
Okay.
don't bite you. They're not they're scared of people, man. They're like we're way bigger than them. They're the apex
Yeah.
predator in the water, but when a person goes flying into it, like they'll eat something on the surface, sure. Like they'll eat a duck, you know. I've
Yep.
seen I've never personally seen a muskie hit it because they're more elusive, but northerns I've seen, you can Google it right now. Just put in like pike eating stuff. I've seen eat all sorts of shit. Pike are aggressive. But
So before we get into the pike and stuff, you already gave us a little bit of history with muskies, but like what is, and you've talked about it on the podcast before, you have a muskie on the wall, but like what can you give us with the whole, what can you give us right now on the muskie episode about your history with them? Because that's how I
my
want to kick it off.
yeah, so my history, I've caught a decent number of them, all trying to fish for them, and then my biggest one came on
Okay.
accident, and they've all been barred muskie. So I know we're talking about like
I don't know what that means.
there's barred muskie, spotted muskie. There's what's known as like clear muskie, where it has dots, but they're like way lighter. You can barely see them, so they look almost
Really?
just like, yeah, they're cool looking, man. And then
Huh.
there's tiger muskie, which is a hybrid between,
Oh
yeah,
shit. Okay. So when I ask, like, I have that written down. I just have tiger muskie question mark. Like, what's going on there? Because that's the one that I hear the most about. But like, is it
everybody
is
talks
it
about
part of
them.
the myth? Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck? Are
dude,
they the
that's
hardest
another
to
part
find?
of it. I think it's a misconception. People don't know what they're catching. They see
Okay.
a muskie and it's strapped like a barred muskie has stripes, kind of like a tiger. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
people are like, that's a tiger muskie. But what a tiger muskie actually is a hybrid between a northern and a muskie.
Oh
And it
shit.
looks,
Because they are both pikes. That's the thing, is like I couldn't figure these things out for the longest time because
yeah,
we call them muskie, we call them pikes, we call them northern pikes. Like
yeah,
northern and pike mean the same thing in Minnesota. And then a
right,
muskie is a muskie, right?
right. You're right. Well, like it's easier to describe it in like the Latin terms where they're both Esox. Like
Yes,
they're in that, yeah.
Esox masquinocung.
Dude, it's super long. It's
Oh man,
and they're like
that's what
four,
a muskie's called.
yeah, and then like the pike is like a Esox pickle bickle dickle whatever. I don't know.
And you get pike out of that part.
Yes, yes. So
Just
like,
like MASQU is muskie.
yeah, right. It's just like a nickname because it's like it's exactly what just happened to you. People are like,
Right.
it's Esox muscu, it's fucking muskies. Call them muskies.
Okay, so they're both Esox.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's a magazine even called Esox Hunter, and it's
Oh
pike
shit.
and muskie, and that's all the magazine is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So to get
So
back to yours, you said you caught bar.
barred. Yep. So barred is like basically it has like the long bands. It looks like a tiger, and that's why everybody calls it tiger muskies. But there are
Okay.
like there's spotted too, and then there's
Hmm.
kind of like a middle ground between there where there's like some that have bars, but there's more spots. But a spotted muskie is like very, it has just a bunch of dots. But
Okay. Like a leopard versus a tiger as far as cats would go,
yep, yep.
almost.
And a muskie versus a northern is like northern is dark back with light marks, and a muskie is light back with dark marks. So like a muskie is like a
Oh.
light tan with
Hmm.
like dark tan lines. And all the muskies I've caught have been barred muskies, and I've caught smaller ones that I didn't measure, like
Sure.
under 40 inches. I don't really even get a tape measure or whatever.
Still a big fish.
But
Still such a big
it is a
fish.
big fish, but that it's nothing special. So,
Okay. Okay.
like it's a good sized fish and you have a picture of it, but it's not like you're just gonna be like caught a 38 incher. People are just gonna be like neat. But
Oh, gotcha.
I've caught 40. I caught everything in twos up to 47. So it's 40. I think I've caught multiple on all these 40, 42, 44, 46. And then the biggest was a 47 until I caught that one that ate the bass, which is like a 50-inch fish that we didn't get a chance to measure, but it was easily the biggest fish I've ever caught. And it had to have been right around there because I know what the 47 was, and we didn't have a tape measure, and I knew that this one was so much bigger. I mean, even the head, I have it on video. Like, we could do some forensic stuff.
Sure.
And figure it out.
I watch enough forensic TV. I could figure it out. That's the second half. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. But in case, I'm not going to try to make people go back to hear the story because I know I've told it before, but just real quick, I was bobber fishing, trying to catch walleyes on the 4th of July because I knew it was like there was a lot of boat traffic. It was calm. I was like, if the fish are probably going to be hiding in the weeds. So I was bobber fishing with a leech and the weed edge, and I ended up catching a bass, and that bass ended up getting ate by a muskie. And it ended up like grabbing it, swimming down into the water. And the next time I saw it, it came up and there was no more bass. And the tiny little walleye hook that I had was hooked in the outside of the mouth, like where that flap folds over. So the line wasn't inside where the teeth are. And I had 8-pound test, no leader.
Oh my God.
And I just fought it for I don't know how long. It just kept getting close to the boat, and then it would run. And eventually I wore it out to the point where I landed it on the gill plate because we didn't have a net either. So
oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it was a 4th of July miracle.
Yeah, no kidding. That is crazy, dude. Can't believe it. What a story. So I got my information here on the muskie from Encyclopedia Britannica and a little bit of the FWS, as we've touched on both of these sources before, but the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, FWS, that's what that is, and Britannica, I mean, Encyclopedia. They do the research. So, Tim, I need you to help me on this one. We call them muskies, and yes, they have that Esox something weird based in Latin, but what is it actually called? Muskellunge?
Muskellunge.
Yeah, I would have never gotten that from that word. Muskellunge?
Muskellunge. Yep.
Muskellunge is what a muskie is called.
Yep.
That's and I read that it's a somewhat uncommon pike. So we've been talking already about the pikes, northerns, muskies, blah, blah, blah. What is this uncommon thing? From what I saw, it's because they don't have that big of a environment, actually. Like they don't cover that much of this.
Muskies are uncommon?
So that's why I wanted to ask you, as somebody who fishes them, somebody who has fished them. It literally this is a quote from Britannica, a somewhat uncommon pike.
I think
do we just live in the right area to think that it's not uncommon?
We do live in the right area for sure. We have lakes where they're more common, but I think it's uncommon because the pikes are so much more common. Like even when I go on certain days when I go fishing for bass, I would catch just as many pike, if not more pike, than bass. And almost always when I go fishing for walleye, I catch more pike than walleye.
Sure. Okay.
So, I mean, when you're comparing the two, it's definitely like there's muskies out there. I think it's just there's less of them. Also, there's a weird thing with how they grow, where like a pike grows pretty fast from small to like around 30-ish inches.
Okay.
Where, well, I should say, like, I think they get closer to that 40 faster. And then it takes like forever for a pike to get over 40. But a muskie will grow like over 40.
Like it just keeps riding that gradual line. Like it just keeps riding it north. And it keeps going.
And I don't know if it has their like A northern definitely seems to be more ferocious. I mean, we have a
Hmm.
GoPro footage of a
Yeah.
pike
I
hitting
gotta
our
find that.
GoPro.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, like, and
It
a
just
muskie
attacked the
never.
GoPro.
A muskie will follow your bait in, looking at it all the way to the boat, and then decide if maybe it'll eat, maybe it won't. And a pike is just like, is that a fucking camera? And it's just, just like,
Who gives a shit?
yeah, but that thing's shiny, kind of. It's just like that's all it takes is a little flash, and it's eating it.
Right, right.
They're like the
Yeah, no, that.
barracuda of the north.
Oh,
I say that
what?
because, like, if you don't know, like when you go in the water in the ocean, if you're out in
Mhm.
the sea in a known place where there's barracuda and stuff, and they say to like not wear jewelry because the
Oh,
flash of your
no.
jewelry can entice bites.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
just thought because barracuda and pike general, like, they kind of look alike.
no, they do look alike, and I think they're probably like a brother from another mother. I don't want to say related,
Sure. Yeah,
but they're
yeah, yeah.
just
No, I didn't do research on barracuda, so I have no fucking clue,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
definitely associate the visual
Yes,
for
for
sure.
sure. And they're
Yep.
just like ferocious where like all it takes is some flash and it just bites you. Like in I this is completely off topic except for the fact that I just brought up barracuda, but I've been in the water here and I've seen northern underwater and I've seen muskie underwater and they can see you, but they don't turn towards you. And I had an encounter in um God damn it, not St. Thomas, the other one. The other Virgin Island,
Yeah. Um,
whatever. I
it was one
can't
of the yeah, it was down there.
I can't think of it, but the barracuda physically turned. Like as I was swimming past it, it was watching me. It was just a
Oh,
little one,
no.
but its head, like
Followed you.
it physically stayed pointing straight at me,
Oh my
regardless
god.
of where I swam. And the muskies and pike do not do that.
Right. They won't move.
It's crazy.
Holy shit, that's creepy,
Dude,
dude.
it was like
That's
a
super
foot
creepy.
long, and it was the most intimidating thing I've ever seen in the water. I'm just like, that thing is 100% just staring at me right now.
That's so freaky. It's a foot long. You're over 6 foot tall, and it's just like,
I like,
hey,
yeah,
hey, 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 hey,
right.
and it's just fucking
Yeah,
watching you.
I
Where
knew it
you
wasn't
going?
gonna kill me, but I knew it was like gonna fuck up my day if it got me good.
Oh my god, dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
So, okay, because that's down south. I'm gonna bring it back up here, and like I said, do we think that they're not uncommon because of where we live? And I think the answer to that is 100%, like you said. Now,
yeah,
these at the beginning when we talked about the guide in Green Bay and all this other shit,
yeah,
it flat out was just admitting, oh, these are stockfish. They don't live here. And I was just
right.
blown away, dude. This blew my mind doing the research. There's not that many muskies in Canada.
That makes
I thought
sense.
I thought the huge muskies, these giant fish that I've seen my uncle holding. He goes on trips to Canada to like these remote lakes.
Yeah,
He's not catching muskie, he's catching pikes.
pikes. Yeah, giant pikes. Yeah, that's why I want to go up
I
there.
thought they were muskies the whole time because I thought the muskies were so much bigger. I'm just like, I was
No,
fucking blown away.
that's what makes
There's
it
not
so
that
fun
many.
too.
What?
That's what makes those destinations so sought after for me because they are more aggressive fish than the muskies. So you're going up there with these giant fish that are willing to
Oh,
eat.
that are just like they're out there. They're
They're
hungry. Like
ready.
they're literally hungry.
Yeah. Have you seen pictures from like over in Russia?
No.
Their pikes are off the charts and they harvest them like a motherfucker. They have so
What?
many. Yeah, they'll
They
have
like they're just out there commercial fishing them?
I don't know if they commercial fish them, but they will be holding up a stringer between like three guys with like 17, like 40-inch fish. And you're like,
What
how
the
can you guys?
fuck?
And I see them all, and you're like, that shouldn't be. And then you look at the comments, and everybody, I mean, it's like when you click the C translate and it's broken English, it's like, good
Yeah.
fish, good you, good fish. And you're just like,
Uh-huh.
that's Russian as hell. Good fish, good you, good fish.
I love the translate. It's the best.
Right. The broken, everything doesn't work out at all. Just Oh man, go on the
It translates it,
Japanese.
but then you read it and you're like, "Whoa, that was kind of
Yeah,
hard to." Yeah,
dude, the
cool.
Japanese stuff is the best. I follow a lot of different Japanese lure companies, and it's
Yeah,
so funny. They're just
it's the
like,
best.
good lure, catch me fish, I eat lures, good lures. And you're just like, hell yeah, dude,
You're like,
good
uh
lures.
huh. So I couldn't believe it, dude. I seriously thought this whole time, and it's just because that in my brain I've been having I've always had trouble northerns, pikes, muskies. I've never been good at getting it. It
Oh,
sounded so good.
did it? I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I wanted to make it go. Tss.
No, it just it sounded like commercial. It just crisp. So
What's this
I've
sound?
always had a hard time until I met you, basically figuring out muskie pike, and now I know why, because muskies are pikes. But we call a northern pike. Northerns are pikes. Muskies are muskies. Like that's kind of the clean cut line here in Minnesota.
Yep.
And just I
And
just couldn't believe that these weren't pikes.
a
Sorry,
tiger,
I couldn't believe these weren't northerns in Canada. I mean, I
muskies.
can't believe
Yeah.
these weren't.
Oh,
Yes, thank you for correcting me. I just couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe how big they get, because you're also saying like muskies are bigger.
yep. Yeah, they get bigger. The state record for
That's crazy. Blows my mind.
the state record for northern isn't even 50 inches, I don't think.
Jesus.
And the state record for pike is what we just talked about on one of the last episodes,
Yeah,
57.25
something like
or
that.
whatever.
Big. It's big.
I guess shut my fucking vibrate off.
So also to go to the, like, do we live in the right area? Again, yes. I think the answer is yes.
Oh, for sure.
Weedy, clear, fresh water.
Yes.
Does that just not describe the lake that you primarily fish?
Yes, for sure. They're stocked on Chaminade too.
Oh, they
But
are.
yeah, but I don't know how often they stock. I think they did it like once and now you have fish in there. And
Okay. So
for
you think that
sure,
based on that, they have to be just thriving in that lake, right? Like
I think for the most part,
they're living naturally.
I think people do accidentally catch them and then don't release them properly and then they die. So they
Mm.
are living naturally for sure. I mean, it was like a 2 pound bass. There are tons of 2 pound bass in that lake and tons
Right.
of small northern. Like that's probably what it's eating. It's two
Oh,
pound
okay.
bass, 2 pound northern. It's probably out there just hammering all these small fish. And a lot of people do fish for muskies on that lake.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, my neighbor actually, that was one thing that was weird. Like I never talked to him about fishing muskie. I didn't know he did. I knew he had a boat, but
Mm-hmm.
he has a very specific boat and it has like a little tag, some people put like Big Bertha on the side or whatever.
Yep.
And he's got
Mm-hmm.
like a very specific tag and we were fishing and like I'm fishing the weed edge and all of a sudden like it's my fucking neighbor right
No
there.
way.
Yeah, casting for muskies. So I mean,
Oh,
he
weird.
he drives from, about an hour away, but it might
Yeah.
be, there's not a whole lot of lakes that have muskies because they are stocked, I think for the most part. But
Mm-hmm.
it's Minnesota and Wisconsin. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to find a good spot to go muskie fishing, like we're the two places that everybody knows.
Yeah.
These are where the muskies are at.
Yeah. It blew my mind. It's basically like this fish lives in the Great Lakes. You know, there's some rivers,
Yeah.
like but they're in the calm spots of the rivers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in the Great Lakes. So it's like, yeah, they probably just follow the river off the Great Lakes a little bit and they hang out in the calm spots. It's like that's their natural habitat. So knowing that there are obviously calm, clear water lakes in land, yeah, the DNR stocks them and they do well.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. They're in the Mississippi too, which is not clear water and
Oh,
not calm depending on where you're at. But
right.
for the
Do they
most,
hang out in the calm areas though? Because that's what
I
I
think
just saw as the
yeah,
calm spots,
yeah. I
basically.
think they do stay in the calm spots for the most part. Just kind of
Yeah,
like rest and then go eat when they need to. I've only witnessed
sure.
one, but I know people who have caught more. but I've only seen one in person because it's dingy
Out of the
water, and it
Mississippi?
happened to be it happened to like roll over where I was fishing for smallmouth. I
Oh,
like
no way.
grabbed something and I saw the side of it, and it's just like, oh shit! It was like right next to me.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
That's exactly why I wanted to bring up the river thing, because I know you fish river enough to the point where it's
yes,
like you
yep,
you seen them. You've seen them in there.
yep. I wanna before we get too far. I don't know where we're going with the rest of the topic,
No,
but
keep going, keep going.
because we were talking about like pike or muskie or pike, northern pike, and then you got muskies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The tiger muskie is the bastard son of the two. So it's a
Oh.
muskie and a pike hybrid,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're like mules. They cannot
Oh,
reproduce. They're sterile. So it's like a one and done.
no shit.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing back that, because that is really cool. I had no idea.
Yep. Yep.
That
It's so weird how that works in nature. Like they're like, yeah,
it
you
is.
guys can do it once, but it's not going any farther than
But
that.
there's no, which is
Yeah.
also probably, well, which definitely adds to the title of what I put this, the mythological muskie. Is like people think, people want to be catching the tiger muskie based on what you just said.
Yes. Yeah. And like it looks more like a muskie in my opinion,
Okay.
but the sizing is more like it definitely has limitations because it has that pike in it. Like the
Sure.
record for tiger muskie is way smaller than the record for regular muskie.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
So there is that size difference, that it's not like a liger where the two come together and they make some kind of giant
yeah, just
fucking
giants.
animal.
Yeah, just like
How did that
lion meets
happen, dude?
tiger, and it's a mythical beast. No, well, yeah,
In
it
this
is
case,
kind
it's
of a
actually,
mythical beast. Yeah, we're talking is that maybe
yeah.
that's the one that's eating everybody's toes.
The one tiger muskie that just got big, that got musky size.
Right? Just pissed off at the world. I can't have babies. No.
So the the muskie is the largest of the pike family. Just
Hmm.
as we've been talking, like I can confirm that on based on my research. Average is 20 pounds, dude. I about crapped my drawers when I saw it.
Yeah,
20
see,
pounds
that's what I'm talking about. Like the muskies, they get, I think they get bigger
faster.
faster. I forget.
Right.
I knew a stat. Now it sounds stupid because I'm like, hey, they get big, and then the northern get big or whatever too. But
No, I don't think no, I think I don't think you sound stupid, but
I
you're
think
saying that, like, this stat saying that an average muskie is 20 pounds, I think is backing up what you've already said, is that they get bigger faster, because an average 20 pounds, dude, I've been out fishing with you and caught little tiny pikes. You just quick get that hook out of the way,
oh
go.
yeah, yeah, you
They're
catch
tiny.
3 to 5 pounders constantly,
Oh yeah,
and those ones you got to toss back too because there's a slot limit.
sure.
I mean,
Yep.
that's evident too of like the rarity, where the slot limit for
This is
uh
in Minnesota.
yes, yes, in Minnesota, and it can differ from lake to lake. Like Chaminade still has
Oh,
a
good point. Good
five
point.
fish rule, and I think in throughout Minnesota it's 10 now. You can keep 10 pike.
Wow,
Like I mean,
they're
that's
doing
right
well.
there telling you how many there are.
Right.
Because muskie, you get to keep one trophy. So
That's
um,
it.
yeah, and it has to be over 50 inches. I think pike, you have to throw back anything that's
Jesus.
like under 36, and then or it's like 24 to 36 maybe. I think you can keep anything smaller than that,
Oh, okay.
and then like you can keep one over 36.
Sure.
And with muskies, you can keep one fish over 50.
That's it.
Yep, one. You can, they're just like
Nothing else.
literally you can keep one trophy. If you
To
get it
have it
over a
to
50,
have it actually stuff instead of replicated.
right, they're
That's the
like if
only
you
reason that exists.
exactly, if you have over a 50-inch fish, you can put it on your wall. That's it.
And that's the only reason.
That's it.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Uh so with that, I don't have the inches because I'm a fucking idiot, and I just looked up feet. 6 feet, 80 pounds. Are you kidding
Sorry.
me?
I just,
Six.
I
What?
just, I just was picturing because you said like not the measurement, like just like I'm an idiot. All I did was look up feet. Just spent the next half hour jerking off to foot pictures.
I have a funny thing about that in the next random take.
Nice. We'll get it.
But yeah, just looking up feet.
Just looking up feet. Just FYI for people at home, put measurement in front of it. Otherwise, your search is going to get you all worked up.
Well, I when I looked it up, it just came up for like a muskie could be 6 feet and up to 80 pounds. Now the FWS says 70, but Britannica was like, yeah, 80 pounds. And I'm thinking, well, they probably have that Russian data now that I know what you've said.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if muskie even live over there, because those are northerns. Anyways.
All I ever see are pictures of northerns, but they could
Right.
catch muskies and then put them back.
I don't, dude, it was such a small area in North America. I'm telling you, it's like the Great Lakes and then just a little bit into Canada and then into Wisconsin and Minnesota. Like you said, it was absolutely the smallest little tiny habitat that I ever seen. And then they compared it to the pike and it was just like fucking everywhere.
Oh, yeah, pike are
And I was
all
like,
over
whoa,
the place.
God, this is weird.
Yeah, plus
So
I think technically if you go down south, the pickerel are still pike, and I think they just call them pickerel. I might be wrong on that, but I thought like
well,
a
they're
pickerel.
probably a pike.
Yeah, I think a
But
pickerel is just like a smaller species of pike, but those are like
right.
all the way down to Florida.
But they ain't northerns. I mean, but they ain't
Right.
muskies.
Right. No, not muskies, but I'm just saying, like, you're talking about how like pike are everywhere.
Sure.
It's like I think there's different slight variations of pike all over the place.
Oh,
And
okay.
muskies is like, this is what you get.
Right.
Muskies are muskies, and they're
right. This northern badass fucking fish in this little spot. So you said earlier that they like you'll get them to like follow your bait up to the boat.
Yeah.
Which this next stat that they can go up to 30 miles per hour makes me go like, what is this? It's stalking the bait,
Yeah,
but it's also
dude.
super fucking fast. Like, what's that?
Yeah, they're super fast. So like it's just trying to decide if it should eat or not. That's another thing where some
like
people think,
eater.
yeah, some people are just like, I'm probably just reeling too fast. A muskie, I believe it's a muskie can swim 4 times faster than you could ever reel. You're not reeling too fast. If it wants to eat it, it will catch it.
Just that's even with your like 200 ratio.
Yeah, you have your super high gear ratio. You're burning it in, and the muskie's still like casually swimming behind it. Like I don't know.
It's not that convincing.
Right. It's kind of swimming in a straight line. I don't swim in a straight line. This is I don't know. Because for sure they follow it in, and it's like it's just waiting for something. Like it wants you to do one little thing, like make it go to the side or whatever.
Like it just wants.
I don't know if it's looking for a weakness, if it thinks it's something it could eat, but it's also trying to determine if it should or if it's smart enough that it's been like caught before, or like I don't think they're smart, but maybe they have instincts to be like, I don't know. I saw Jerry chasing one of those one time, and he didn't come back.
So just gonna say, I don't know if I get that.
Yeah, I'm just saying it looks super good, but I don't know. I've also never seen anything like that before. You know what I'm saying? Or they've been caught before too.
Sure.
Where they're just like, it's last time I tried to eat one of those, I got lifted up by some weird looking creature above the water. I
couldn't even breathe. It was fucking weird.
They're trying to tell his friends, just like I got lifted out of the water. Bullshit, dude. There's nothing up there.
There's nothing up there.
There's nothing up there. I eat fish all the time. Doesn't matter what they look like. I take them down. I'm the biggest thing in this lake. And I think that's
full of shit, dude.
I think they just don't eat lures that often, and that's how some of them get to like that 57 inches.
Yeah. Well,
When
also it says they can live up to 30 years. So, I mean,
yeah, and I've
30-year-old
said this
fucking fish.
before.
It's going to get
Yeah,
huge.
I said this before about other fish that I think fish are just like people or any other animals. Some of them are just smarter than others. And I think
Right.
that's the big ones. They're
Right.
smart enough to be
They're picky.
cautious.
Picky enough to not get caught, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh so you said you pick the thing that I have written down right now is there's no scales on the lower cheeks and the gill covers.
Yeah.
You've had up close and personal experience with that, like, because it is it was one of those things where I was reading it and it was just like, yeah, like, how do you know when you're catching a northern and how do you know when you're catching a muskie?
If you land it with the gill plate, it's so evident.
Yeah.
The muskie has such a strong jaw. It's like just a it's like you can grab on. It's like a solid bone.
Oh my
And the
god.
northern's face is just kind of like floppity. Like I get kind of scared to hold northern sometimes because I'm like, my hand is just gonna like slide into the mouth from the bottom. Where the muskie,
Ugh,
I can just grab onto that jawbone and like I know he's
really?
not going anywhere.
So
Yeah,
what
I've
is
had a
the
40-inch fish flop in my hand before, and I knew he wasn't going anywhere because I had such a solid grip on the bone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like my
That
sister was standing there when one of them flopped, and she like got nervous, and then I didn't drop it, and she was like, "That was impressive. Like I got a good grip on
and you're
him."
just like, yeah, it's
I'm not
crazy.
gonna
Like,
let him fall because I know that that's worse for him because
right.
they never
Especially
feel.
a big fish, right? Out
Yeah,
of
they never
water.
feel their own body weight, dude. They're in
Right.
water.
Right.
And then you drop one and they land. That's a lot of internal damage. It's never had a
Right.
blow like that. And a lot of
hmm
times that's it. You drop the
Right.
muskie. This is game over.
Oof. Good advice.
Yeah.
Like good lesson, I guess.
Right. So
So
try to get
what
a
is the
good
no
hold on 'em.
scales? Like what does that mean? Because I'm like, fish are covered in
Their
scales. I don't
their
fucking get it.
their face are just smooth, man.
What?
It's just like a smooth face.
Like a reptile almost? Or not even a
Mm,
reptile, but like
kind
amphibian.
of like a walleye's face is the same. Like
Oh,
their body's real rough, but their cheek is real smooth, like right
huh.
on the cheek. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it
Interesting.
any better than it says it. There's just no scales. It's just like a nice smooth skin, and then it's not slimy as bad as a northern. It's just kind of like
Sure,
there's a
sure.
little bit of that slime there, but it's just nice and smooth. Where the musky or northern
Uh-huh.
has more going on there, and I don't know if that's what
Weird.
kind of leads to like the floppityness too, where
hmm
I really don't know. And it might be just from them like
Interesting.
swimming because they have that solid face,
Yeah.
just like everything just stays tighter and
No.
smooth. I don't
They're
know.
just constantly swimming into a facelift all the time.
Right. They're just the models of the water. They have a nice strong jawline and they're constantly getting exfoliated.
Oh, muskies are hot.
Mama's so hot, bro. I'm dangling my toes in the water. try to get one of them to suck on
See if
them.
I can get one to bite my toes off.
Side note, I find feet disgusting. I know it comes off as
Me
I
too.
have like some sort of a foot fetish now where I'm just like, you're jacking off the feet. Get them to suck on my toes. I really don't like them and I don't understand you people.
Nope. Same here.
Sorry.
Not judging
Sorry.
your feet fetish, but
Yeah.
yeah, no.
No, have at
I'm
it.
with you,
Like,
dude.
no shame in here. I just don't understand it.
Nope.
There's nothing. Sure, when you paint your toenails and your feet look nice, that's better than when they look gross. But
Right.
that's as far as it goes.
Right. Feet still stink. Feet still walk on the ground. Uh oh, dude. So you said you've seen videos of northerns eating ducklings and stuff. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
I
of
seen
course,
one of
muskies
them
eat
eating a
some duck.
cat.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh shit.
a kitten. There's two girls watching it. And they're filming it.
Oh,
There's like a kitten kind of like reaching down into the water, and then a muskie comes up and grabs it, and that was the most horrifying day of those little girls'
yeah, it
lives.
was. That was a muskie that did that.
No, that was in Pike. It
That
was
was a
in the
pike that did that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was probably
yeah.
like close to like a 8-9 pounder, and it's like on a bridge, and the kitten's like trying to reach in the water, and the pike like jumps out of the water and grabs it, and then the girls are
And then
just screaming
slinks
like,
back
"Oh
into
my
the
god!"
water.
Yeah, probably just got that cat, and then it got murdered by a fish, murdered by a sea
Holy
monster.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. To those girls, that was a sea monster.
Oh yeah, those
And
girls.
how
They're
ironic is
never
that?
going swimming again.
You're right. You're right. They won't. But what is the irony of that? That the fish eats the cat instead of the cat eating the fish. Am I right?
Right. Getting some payback.
Oh my god.
If you listen real
So
close in the video, you can hear the pike yell karma as it grabs him.
karma, bitch.
Karma.
If you slow it down, you can hear it.
Right. It's karma.
So muskies have been said to like eat ducklings too. Says muskrats, snakes. I'm like, snakes, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
My big thing was they eat carp, dude. They eat carp. Let's go.
Little
More
ones?
muskies. That's what it says.
God damn.
That's what I read.
That's impressive.
They eat carp. So I was
But
like,
I know,
fuck yeah, we need more
that
muskies.
they eat all those other things because there's literally a lure about those. You can get a
That's
muskrat
what I was leading
lure,
to.
regular lure. They
Tell
have
me.
snake lures. They have
What?
duck lures.
I've never seen a snake lure, and I figured there were probably duck ones, muskrats. I was like, I
have
don't
a
know,
snake
but I know
lure.
they have mice ones. So
Yeah, I
mice,
have
muskrat.
a snake lure.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, mine's
Where does that sit in the water? 2
on the
feet, 3 feet,
surface.
right on the top.
Yep, snakes swim on the surface.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So if there's a snake, if it's going to eat the surface, that's a surface bait. It's like a wake bait, most of them. The one that I have isn't a wake bait, but a lot of them have like a bill that comes out right underneath the head.
Okay.
And then it, kind of works like a regular jerk bait. But then the body is just like a bunch of jointed pieces.
Nice.
So as the head kind of goes like this, the body just kind of follows. So it's just snaking across the surface of the water.
Yeah. Like it literally mimics a snake, like the weird S's that a snake does across the surface of the water.
Yep.
No shit, dude. That's crazy.
Buddy. Yeah, the one I have is like rubber, and I think somebody got it from my like a Christmas present. I've never used it because I cast it out once. I have no confidence. Fishing is a lot about confidence. I tried reeling it in once, and I'm just like, I wouldn't eat that. So that's the only time I ever got used.
So they have duckling ones then? Is that just like you cast out like a rubber duck and it just sits on top of the water and you reel it in?
The ones that I've seen are like top water, and they actually have like the feet, kind of like the like little kids' toys with the wheel where you
it's like a water wheel.
Yeah, it's like
as
a flop,
the
flop, 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 flop. Yeah.
Really? Does it break the surface?
I think they're all surface baits. Yeah.
So the feet are like they're literally making noise.
I think they're some of them are like that. Oh, excuse me, fucking beer. And then there's other. I think there's more than one kind of duck bait, but there definitely are a couple of different ones, and there's different colors. There's like black ducklings and yellow ducklings.
Sure.
I think I've only seen the two different colors, but
yeah. Well, that's because that's kind of all ducklings are from
what
what I've seen around here.
Yeah, I want to make it realistic-ish.
Is it float on the top? Like, does it actually have a good amount? Because like a duckling floating on top of the water has a good, 3-4 inches above the water. Like, what is a lure? How does a lure do that?
No, it's same shit. I don't know.
No
I don't have any, but yeah, I know that's how it works. It just sits on the surface of the water because you can pause it,
and it'll just float like a rubber duck in a bathtub.
Yep, and that's sometimes how you entice it. Because a duck doesn't just move fast all the time. So sometimes you pause it and then you reel it in fast like it's trying to run.
Right.
And sometimes that entices them to bite. They're almost like dogs in that sense. Sometimes when you have the bait run away from them, that's when they're like, oh, no, you don't. And then they chase it down and smash it.
So they're non-migratory, according they're categorized as a non-migratory fish, which makes sense. They don't have that much. They don't really have anywhere to go. But all of the fishing stuff that I've been seeing on the internet right now is like muskies on the move, time to get them.
Oh yeah,
What the
that's
fuck?
just like in the water column. That's just like where they're going to.
Because it's fall.
Yep. Yeah, that's just where they're like setting up in the lake.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
lot of there's a lot of people talking about like everything's starting to school up. Like time to go get fall is here. They're schooling up. Let's go
Yep.
get them.
Yep.
Shit like that.
Okay. Okay. Well, we got to close on fucking because that's how we do it. We got to talk about fish fucking before we leave.
Yep, and that's another reason why tiger muskies are rare is because I don't think they naturally spawn in a lot of lakes.
You mean northerns and muskies next to each other?
I think muskies don't naturally spawn in a lot of lakes, so you have to get a
Oh,
lake where northerns and muskies are spawning together,
right.
and
Okay.
then somehow get those where they're just like, times have been hard, whatever, I'll slum it. Like the muskies, just like, yeah, everybody knows I'm the model of this lake, but
Okay.
whatever.
I'll take the northern, I suppose.
Yeah, what? I was just looking for something.
Does it help to fish them during the spring when they are spawning? Like, is that
Can't
actually the time?
can't fish them until June.
Oh, so so here in Minnesota they specifically cut them, like they let them spawn.
Yep.
The DNR has said like don't fuck
Yeah,
with them while they're spawning.
it's for sure easier to catch them when they're spawning. I've caught one before you were supposed to, but it was unintentional,
Yeah,
and
of
that thing
course.
was just stupid. Like I was fishing like a bass lure.
Young, dumb, and full of
And
cum.
it was like swimming up, and I like move the bait, and it just like swims up and eats it. Like just like, dude. In the summer, I try so hard to catch you guys, and now you just like swam up and grabbed my lure. Like it's just a lazy day. Like I asked you to do me a favor, and you were just like, I guess. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
whatever. I guess I'll eat your lure. It's just so I already slumming it with this northern over here. Well, it's not like my day can get any worse.
Let's make some tiger muskies and fuckers can't even fuck anyway. Bloodline's dead. Ugh, fuck it.
All these other stupid pikes are gonna eat my babies.
Okay, so I have to point out this one thing before we end and go into our random take about what we're watching. The males swim against the female in a forceful manner. That's a quote. While she's on her side, so she literally like rolls 90 degrees, and the males swim against the females in a forceful manner. Happens at least 2 times, and then gush. Isn't that the weirdest thing, dude?
Yeah.
What kind of spawning ritual? What kind of mating ritual is that?
I don't know, but I've seen the fish like
It in the club before. I know, me too. It's so weird to see in the club when humans are doing it.
they're rubbing up against just, I just now I'm picturing it like twice.
Right.
He comes up and just like up against her aggressively. Once, twice. Yep. Later.
Later.
But you should go check out the shallows early spring. You can see some really cool shit sometimes.
Really?
Go find like a reedy area, like where the reeds are kind of dead in a protected bay. Excuse me, Jesus Christmas. I've been trying to like not burp into the mic, but I'm also
Sometimes you just
drinking
gotta let
Blue
it go.
Mountain Dew. So I got Blue Dew, I got beer, I got the upper and the downer.
It's
Little
happening.
bit of Friday night mid Minnesota speedball here. But yeah, this I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the fish, like you can see them together. You'll see like a big one and a little one. The biggest
Wow.
muskie I've ever seen was early spring. Like
Really?
just a tank, dude. It was
Spawning,
so big.
obviously.
It was like 3 feet of water. I'm like trying to look for
Wow.
bass, and I just saw this monster, and I was like, holy
That is so cool.
And then
Dude.
you try to like tell everybody. It's funny because you've been moving around. It hasn't swam away yet. And then you see it and you go like, everybody, everybody, shit. Oh, come quick. And then it doesn't move for like the next half hour. And you're like, I guess I didn't have to, but you just freeze.
Yeah, I guess I didn't have to freeze and talk very quietly because that fish isn't going anywhere.
Didn't go
That's
anywhere
cool,
before.
though, dude.
But
That's
yeah,
really cool.
yeah, and I mean, obviously you got to find a clear water lake to have that work well. But
Right.
yeah, I did not know that that's how it worked, though. I did not know that that's how muskies did it.
Dude, if you're out in the spring and you're doing bass fish, like look for it. How wild would that be to see? Just all of a sudden, there's two muskies like ramming into each other. You're like, what's going on? Now you're gonna be like, I think they're fucking.
Right. Right.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
All right, dude. Let's
Break
end
me
on that
off.
note.
Show me what
Muskie
you got.
spawn
I
gets
don't want
weird.
No 1 minute, man. Break me off.
And let's fade into the break with that song, where we're gonna get in the second half about what we're watching. There's too many streaming services, and I just got to catch up on it, man. So let's go. Hit the break. Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast, a show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. We are in the second half, the random take. We're just going to talk about what we're watching. There's so many fucking streaming services. There's so much shit out right now.
So many. And I wish they'd knock that shit off, dude. There's some of the stuff where I want to watch it.
I know.
But like, no offense, BET Plus, but there's one show I want to watch on your system.
Mm-hmm.
And
that Miss Pat show looks dope.
Yes, Miss Pat, for sure. Miss Pat. Everybody wants to see Miss Pat.
I know.
And it has nothing.
I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's 100% just like what they have on there is not anything I'm interested in except for Miss Pat. I want to see Miss Pat. But that's also like Hulu dropped the ball. Like it was supposed to be on Hulu and then they screwed up. So it's not 100% their fault. Like BET Plus is like, we'll pick it up.
Right.
But I just wish that they would stop it with this. Like, because you start doing the streaming options because it's like, it's a good money saver.
Yep.
And now you have to buy every single one. And now it's starting.
It's the same price as cable now. You're like, what the fuck is the difference? There's no difference. We're just getting over the internet now instead.
Yeah, it's
stupid.
But Hulu did just sign a deal,
right? Like that. Now it's scattered. Where before with cable, you just hit one remote and one menu, and you just fucking flip through channels. But now you go to an app on a device and you flip through everything on that app, and then you go, there's nothing on Hulu tonight. I'm going to go over to Netflix. Nothing on Netflix. I'm going to go over to Discovery Plus, and you just fucking keep changing apps. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I think I just heard him talking about this on YMH about like how they were like, back in my day, we all had to wait for the TV to come on at a certain time. We all watched it. Everybody in the world watched it at the same time. that wasn't even that long ago, dude. It's
crazy. That wasn't that long ago. That was in our parents' lifetime.
Right. And now we do it with like sports for the most part, but still people record that. I do all the time.
Right.
Record the Vikings game so I can skip halftime.
Right.
Like wait like a half hour and then I'll watch it, and as soon as halftime comes I'll catch up to live and then be like live for the second half.
Right.
And at that point sometimes you're just like but at that point sometimes you like fast forward through to the second half and you're just like, well, I'm live, not much point in finishing this game.
With the Vikings, that is.
Sports is rough, dude. Oh, it's rough. Anyways,
when it comes to Minnesota teams,
yes, it's so far not awesome.
It's usually a rough ride. You want to know what ends up happening with us over here is, so we have a few, and we kind of have the family plan thing going on where we exchange.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Where we exchange stuff. But Dude, we sort of just end up rewatching a lot of stuff, which feels so stupid because there's an infinite amount of things to watch, like we were just talking
Right.
about, because there's so many fucking platforms. But then what do you do when you jump on? You just go,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna watch that because there it is on my list. And yeah, it was really good. Like Sarah watches the 100 all the time. Just
The
rewatches
100?
it. Yeah, the 100, the
Um,
CW show.
okay. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's like a
familiar.
sci-fi CW show. If you know, you know. If you don't, you really don't.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so like,
I'm not. Sorry, you go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say like, she does a lot. She does that rewatching, but then like we have Avatar on DVD. That's on Nickelodeon's Avatar. We have that on
Oh, yeah.
DVD.
Okay.
We still just rewatch it on Netflix. We watch it like 5 times on Netflix. I keep watching the Mythbusters. Like it's
Yeah.
so much of this rewatch stuff because it's just easy, and you're just like, yep, know what I'm getting into. Gonna click that on and vacuum the house, or like,
Right. Yeah. When
you
you're
know,
doing stuff, it's always a good time to rewatch stuff. I
yeah.
do agree with that. Like, if you know something's funny, like if I'm trying to do stuff and I just want something in the background, I workaholics almost every time.
Oh
Just like,
yeah, for
yep,
sure, dude.
throw on some workaholics because you don't need to watch it all the time. Like, there's funny visuals,
No,
but you can get the jokes and stuff. Like
right.
the other day, I was cooking and I knew that Parasite.
Were you cooking
That was
hot cheese and eggs?
hot cheese and eggs. He was just on something. What was he on? Just watch. Oh, Hubie. Hubie Halloween.
Whoa,
Hubie.
really?
Yeah, he was in there. He lost some
Oh,
weight. I was like,
are
oh,
you talking about the Adam Sandler movie?
yeah, the hot
Yeah, yeah,
cheese
yeah.
and
We talked
eggs.
about that on our Halloween special, which
Yeah,
yeah,
me and
nice.
Shannon just watched it because we didn't have Netflix
Right.
then. But
Yep.
like you said, you start running out of stuff. And you're just like, whatever, we're going Netflix. I can't remember why we ended up getting it. There's something I wanted to watch on there. But yeah, we
You
have
kind of said
Netflix.
earlier that you got it for Beckett in a way.
Yeah, I think it probably did. Oh yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah. He wanted to see the cruise or something. But
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Sure.
got Netflix and yeah, watched the Hubie Halloween. Not a
Dude,
bad flick, man.
breaking news.
Ooh.
Dave Chappelle's last special dropped tonight.
Last?
His last Netflix special.
Oh, okay.
The deal's done now. He's fulfilled his it dropped. So yeah.
Nice.
And that's just a little behind the scenes because you already said Friday night speedball.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm super stoked on that. I will be watching that very soon.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna have to talk about that for sure. Dude.
You know who else got a good special one that I just watched? Shane Gillis. Everybody go check it out. You don't need a streaming platform. He's got it on YouTube for
It's just
free.
on YouTube. Yep. 48 minutes just sitting on YouTube.
So good. Like,
yeah.
I laughed. He's funny. I laughed quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
He's got a joke where he opens it. The very, very beginning of it is so good because they did like an edit. It's almost like it wasn't part of the special, and it was just like a little thing that he threw in there. So I'm not really ruining it for anybody because it's like the very beginning of it, and then they get into the actual special. But he's just like, yeah. I was thinking the other day that the first time they ever had to come up with age of consent, that had to be a rough day for the boys. And then he's just like the first guy is up is like, Rhode Island, 12. Everybody's like, ew, dude.
Ew, dude.
He's just like, what? I don't know why I had to go first on this one. And like that's how it opens, and then it like goes into the actual like stand-up special. But that's like a thing before they even like roll the starting part. It's really good. I enjoyed the whole thing. He's a comic, so there's like some stuff that people would probably find offensive, but nothing over the top.
But that's what comedy's supposed to be.
Yes, and I love how he prefaces everything. Like he's just like, I'm not saying that I'm making fun of these people, but they are funny. He's very good at wording everything,
Nice.
and I don't know
I'll have
what
to
he
watch
did
that
to
because I
get.
keep getting it in my YouTube feed. Like it keeps coming up just because
Yeah,
I watch comedy and
dude,
and
his
it just
whole
feeds.
thing. Check out all of them. Like the Gillian Keeves.
Okay.
Gillian Keeves is like him and his friend like have sketch comedy that they do, and it's really well produced. I'm
Oh
surprised. Like they have
yeah.
money into it. Like they have
Oh,
Donald Trump speed dating is
and this is
one.
all on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all on YouTube. The Donald
Yeah.
Trump speed dating is so good. And it's like he looks like Trump, he's got everything done, and they have like real actors. It's like a huge room of like looks like
Yes.
a
Like
real
it looks
speed
like a
dating.
speed dating room. Like
Yeah.
there's people in it and shit.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. It's you
That's
gotta check it
awesome,
out.
dude.
And he does a really good Trump, and he talks about how he figured out how to do a Trump impersonation in
In
his
his
stand-up
special.
special. So it like all ties in. So check out all of it.
Sweet.
I'm super impressed by
And that's all on
him.
YouTube, which is just so funny to think about because like we're talking about what we're watching and I kept leading it in like there's so many streaming services we had like between the two of us we have them all and all this shit and then it's just like YouTube. YouTube's
Yep.
really dope. Because I also have been watching some shit on YouTube, the Meat Eater channel with Steve Burnell is the top like he's like the head dude of Meat Eater channel.
Yeah.
They have this series called, and I've talked about it on the podcast before, but they have this particular one, back to the fishing stuff. They have this series called Das Boat, and they find a shitty old boat and they
Das
kind of refurb it and they get it ready for these fishing adventures that they take it on. And so they go
Yeah, and
like on
they
5 or 6
yeah,
fishing
they,
adventures.
he's on Rogan's podcast, like the most recent one, and I didn't listen
Oh,
to it
sure.
yet,
Sure.
but he's been on there before. And if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, isn't that one where they actually talk about like flying it to other places? Like they have it loaded up and brought to.
I don't think they fly the boat to
No,
other
I
places.
thought they actually had it like dropped off in certain spots
They
where
do
like
have it dropped off, but I think they drive it around because this one is like what seems to be regional. So I didn't watch the other seasons. The reason why I got turned
okay.
on to this particular season was because I was watching that episode about them eating coyote
Mm,
that I talked about on the podcast prior, like a couple episodes ago. I talked about it on our podcast here on the Real AF TV podcast about how I had been watching, how they blew my fucking mind saying coyotes kill more or coyotes have killed less people than snails in the last
right,
year or
right,
whatever.
right.
Remember that one?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And so then all their stuff starts to get fed to the top and they got this new one, Das Boat, or this new season of Das Boat coming out. So it gets pushed to the top and I watched the whole thing and it's fucking awesome. And it's all regional and they're definitely driving it to places because it just ended on Lake Erie, but they
Okay.
started fishing in New Jersey.
Oh,
So I'm not
that's
saying they
cool.
didn't fly it, but what I'm saying is it seemed to be towed everywhere
Right.
based on the whole season.
Okay.
And it's really well produced. It's full on like the Meat Eater show
Oops.
is on Netflix. And I'm watching that too. They just dropped
Yeah.
season 10. That's one of the things I'm watching right now. They just dropped season 10 of Meat
10.
Eater
Holy
show.
shit.
Huh?
Was that season 10? Holy shit.
Yeah. And I think the majority of them are on YouTube actually. But yeah, he's got 10 seasons and I just started watching that and this is just a YouTube series and this Das Boat is just a YouTube series as far as I know.
Okay.
But it's so well produced. Like it's just as good as the stuff that's on Netflix in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. I
Like
mean,
it
that's
could be on Netflix.
yeah,
Netflix could buy it up in my opinion.
that's what I was talking about with that Gillian Keeves. Like, I
Right.
mean, it looks like, as well produced as like Chappelle's show was. You
Shit,
know,
dude.
I mean, like, it looks like something or like something on Saturday Night Live. Like,
Sure.
they definitely put money into this, you
Right,
know?
right.
So
Yeah.
that was impressive to me.
That's sick, dude. I
Yeah.
love to hear that because that's the exact same thing. Like we're talking the same thing, just different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
It's so good.
So
We have Discovery Plus. You don't have Discovery Plus.
no.
But that's where the Food Network lives. I know that you watch
Okay.
like I know that because we've talked about it again multiple times. You watch Good Eats. You have Good Eats. You have like a DVD collection of Good Eats.
Yeah, I have a DVD. Yeah, I think it's like the first 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh shit, dude,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So so they relaunched Good Eats not too long ago, and
Okay.
so I rewatched that. I rewatched the season. I actually bought it on iTunes, and then I just rewatched it on Discovery Plus.
That's one thing that I'll do. Like, I don't rewatch a lot of stuff because my memory is too good for like actual like movies and stuff, like visual
Because of the
stuff.
surprise.
Yeah, the stuff
There's
just
no
like
more surprise.
everything comes back to me. I
Right.
literally watched I started watching Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
Okay.
That was the first horror movie I ever rented on my own. Like the first time I was allowed to rent something and I'm
Is
like,
that a
shit.
VHS then back then?
Yeah, dude.
Oh
Yep.
fuck yeah, dude.
So I rented that and I'm watching it and it was either that or Nightmare on Elm Street. And I looked at the back of the box for Nightmare on Elm Street and it
Mm-hmm.
was just like too gross. Everything like was wet and bloated and I'm just like,
Yep.
ugh.
Yep. Yeah.
No thanks. I
Oh
want to watch this
God,
other
why
one.
do
So I
they do
watched
that?
it. And I remember when I was a kid watching, there's a scene, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, it's fucking 30 years old. But
You're
there,
allowed to spoil things
there's
30 years old.
yeah, there's a scene where there's a hitchhiker, kind of like a chunky hitchhiker on the side of the road. She holds up a sign like, like hitchhiking or whatever. And they drive past her and then she flips over the sign and it says fuck you on the back and I'm like, oh yeah, get him girl or whatever I said back then. I
Uh-huh.
was just,
Uh-huh.
and they Jason comes out of the woods and stabs her in the back of the head and the knife pokes out underneath her chin. And
Jesus.
I've never seen any movie magic like that before. And I
Sure.
literally like it hit me where I'm just like, did I just watch a woman get murdered? Like, how
Oh
did you
my
just make
God.
how did you make the knife blade pop out
Right.
from her
Right.
chin? And
Right.
then like, so that messed with me a little bit, but it wasn't like some of the other ones. Like I was able to get over that. But that movie, um, I started watching it and I saw there's a scene where at the beginning of it, the mom's like walking into the kitchen and the kid is wearing uh like a alien mask. And that
Okay.
alien
Like a
mask,
big green alien
it's like a gray alien mask, looks kind of dumb
with
and
the big
stuff.
eyes, like
Yep.
what you think of
Yeah.
it, like a South Park alien.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit dumber looking. But they had that and then like the whole movie came back to me. I saw him,
Really?
bam. I haven't seen that movie for like 25 years.
Jesus, dude.
And I'm just like, we got it all.
You're
It's
like,
no
I'm
point.
good. That's
No point.
crazy. Where was
No
that
point.
on? Like, where were you watching it? Like, you didn't rent it, right?
No, I think it was on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
some reason I looked around and Hulu and I think Paramount Plus, for some reason there's like the like chapter 3 and the final chapter. And like that's
Oh,
those
of the
two are on
Friday
like,
the 13th.
yeah, so I haven't found the source of where they all are, but those two are
The
on.
ones that are like out there
Yeah.
for everybody to
Yep.
find.
They're
Do
like
you
the
have
ones
Paramount
too.
Plus?
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
That means you're gonna get them South Park movies and stuff. We don't, but
We
I'll
ended up,
get
yeah.
it because like you have Paramount Plus, you have HBO Max,
Max.
HBO
Yep.
Max.
Yep.
Yeah, you have that. See, and those are the ones that I'm talking about getting on, just basically for South Park.
Yeah. We got on Paramount Plus just for Beckett because they have the puppy dog, no, the Paw Patrol movie.
Yep, I was just gonna say it's Paw Patrol,
Yep.
right? Yep, yep. Paramount Plus has super super high potential if they do it right. I don't know how they will. I'm actually worried about Hulu right now because between Paramount Plus and Discovery Plus, that's all we watch on Hulu almost is anything that's on Paramount and Discovery because the Food Network shit is all on Discovery now. And Paramount has like the Rugrats and I believe they own the Cartoon Network also. I
I
think.
do not know.
I'm not fully sure either. But I've been
Yeah.
watching Rick and Morty finally, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Good stuff.
This show is fucking crazy.
Shannon doesn't like it at all.
I can't imagine my wife would like it either, but she put it on for me this morning when we were cooking breakfast, and I almost just hugged her to death. Like, whoa, you turned that on for me? Because I just have the iPad next to the stove, and I usually cook breakfast, and then her and the baby, they just hang out.
There was such a well-written joke that had me like laughing and coughing when I was getting the treatment for the COVID, whatever that stuff was called.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The infusion. And I started laughing, and then I started coughing because I only really coughed when I laughed at that point.
Yep.
And it got me so good. And I tried to show Shannon, and she's like, "Is that it?" just like, that was such a good joke. Can't believe you didn't like it.
She just wasn't like, I don't get it. Or just like, it just didn't hit. It just didn't even get close to hitting. There was one that I just heard. I think it was actually yesterday morning. I was watching it, and they're having a party. So I think it's actually the opening to season 2. Doesn't matter. Yeah. But they throw in this huge party, and Rick's just like, yeah, time to cut loose. And first of all, he goes, Morty walks up to him, Rick, how many people did you invite? People? Oh, 7.
7.
And I don't know if 7's the number, but he's like, people. I don't know. I didn't invite that many people.
Right.
He's like, there's going to be a lot more things here than that. There's going to be a lot more beings here than that. But like, humans? Yeah. No, 7.
Humans, no. Yeah.
So good. And so they're panning through the party, right? The party's already rip roaring, and like the door rings, and they're panning through the party. And there's a girl, like the foreground girl. She just goes, yeah, I like watching Bukkake, but I don't know if I've ever do it. Nothing to do with anything. No. It's just a pan through a party, and this is a conversation that they catch in the middle of.
Like watching it, but I don't know if I'd do it. Yeah, the super well written joke is some like, so all right, I gotta set up this a little bit.
Okay.
So there's an episode of where Morty goes down to his mom's work. She works at a place that like artificially inseminates horses.
She's a horse surgeon. Yes.
Morty works, like, goes in like after hours and uses the machine that helps the dudes finish off to and like the samples go into this like thing because they use what's left. So they go, and for whatever reason I can't remember, but Rick is like, quick, we need to do this, and we need to whatever, and this will work out as long as it's just horse semen. And he like looks over at Morty, and he's like, it's just horse semen, right? And then then Morty's just like, yeah, Rick, why would it be anything else? So they do it, and all of a sudden, like, they become like giant, like semen, like monsters. Like they're huge, just sperms running around all over the place. And most of these sperms they're like Morty's sperm, so they're like, he's the father. So he's running around, and there's one that's like a little bit different looking, and it's his. You like clearly like more him, and he's just like, I shall call you. He doesn't say I shall call you. I don't know why instead of saying that, he's just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna call you Sticky. And so this is still just the setup. This is still just the setup. So he calls him Sticky. And then there's one point where they have the machine set up to make more of these. There's like a badass like lady sperm, and she's just like, Morty, I'm gonna use you to like make more of my army. And they have like him strapped down to this bed. And Rick has been like captured too, so he's right there.
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like, Rick is like, I gotta turn away. I can't watch this. And Morty's like, you don't watch it. Don't look at me. And they're like moving the machine down, and he starts going like, oh. And then all of a sudden, that little sperm comes in that he made friends with, and he goes, sticky. And then Morty goes, Jesus. Rick goes, Jesus, Morty. I know you're not a wordsmith, but come all that to set up a
All
joke
this
of him just
weird
like
shit happening
just
for him to just be like, really?
yeah, Rick thinking that he yells sticky when he comes. I started laughing so hard at that while I'm getting that body of fusion thing.
Oh my god.
Sticky.
Oh my god, the jokes in that show are so good. Like I could have written a fucking huge list of the jokes just because they're so fucking funny.
Dude,
Like
it's
that
a
show is so
crazy
well written, man. It blows
it's
me
a
away.
crazy smart show too. Like,
Oh, big time.
they do it justice with like the world gets super crazy, but like they
Yeah.
figure it all out. Like it's not
Yeah.
just, a bunch of nonsense. It's like world into world into world, and it's all
Yeah.
this stuff. Like, if you haven't seen it before, anybody listening, like, go check it out, because
Yeah.
Rick's got this gun that like shoots like a green circle, and
It's a
then
portal
they
gun.
can, yeah, the portal gun, and they can go anywhere, and it
Yeah.
creates like his portal gun can bring you into different dimensions, and it just brings in, I mean, that's why Josh was saying about the humans, seven, because there's so much
Right. Yeah. No, that's a
humans,
really good point.
not
Yeah.
a
If
lot of
like if you haven't
humans,
seen it, I guess you wouldn't understand that. Is like
right?
he said humans, like how many people did you invite to the party? He's like, well, like humans 7, yeah. Like people, because he's got all these friends from all these other dimensions and all these adventures that they've gone on that he just invites in, that they're not people.
Yeah,
They're other forms
and the
of life.
characters that he's made, and there's so many different Ricks too, from different parallel universe.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
There's infinite universes. It's endless possibilities.
wubba lubba dub dub. he's got like the names Bird Person.
Bird Person. Bird Person is the best, dude.
And then they have that one. Have you seen the episode with the blue guy yet?
No, I don't think I've made it that far.
I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, it's a crazy one. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get there. I can't remember his name.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, there's so many, but
It's
so I gotta tell you, we gotta move on from Rick and Morty.
okay.
I gotta tell you,
We do, because otherwise we just make this whole. It would end up just being Rick and Morty for the whole entire thing. So
yeah.
You're right.
So speaking of HBO Max, we get movies that come out in the theaters ahead of time. And
right. Which I just thought the other day, I was like, the ultimate home box office, HBO, actually means HBO now. Like full on actually means HBO. I love it
for
so
sure.
much.
Yeah. So Malignant is a horror movie that's out right now, and it just came out. And I've never been so like, I've never seen anything like it, in the sense that I've never seen anything. Oh, let me explain it like this.
Well, the first 10 episodes of this podcast, you couldn't stop going into horror movie like tangents.
Yes,
So you've seen a shitload. Like you're a horror movie aficionado.
Yes, but okay, listen to this. I'm gonna explain
what the
this.
fuck is going on here?
I'm gonna explain this movie in its heat. I've never seen anything so in the middle before, and this will make sense in a second. I've never seen anything where I feel like this is how the movie was made. Somebody had a decent idea for a movie where they're like, this is kind of crazy, right? And they're like, that is kind of crazy. And then they had a bunch of really good ideas for scares because it is really fucking creepy in a couple of parts.
Okay.
And things are done well. And you're just like, okay, okay. And then they come up with like this premise and all these good ideas for these really good scares. And they're just like, do you have a script? And they're like, no. Do you know somebody who can write one? And then they go, yes. And then they and then they go to that guy and they and they go, hey, can you write us a script? And they're like, how do you feel about plot holes and very shitty dialogue? And then and then they go, I don't love it. And then they go to the next guy and they're like, what do you think? And he's just like, how much rape can I get away with? And then
that is not where I saw this going.
And then
that's why it's funny.
But yeah, and then they just go back to the first guy, and then they go plot holes and
oh right, okay,
and whatever it is. That's where hey,
right. We're not going with the rape guy.
Not the rape guy. Jeez, oh.
You get two quotes, and the one guy says rape. Whoa. We're gonna take the first quote.
We can get away with rape sometimes, but this movie's weird enough the way it is. Jeez. So yeah, dude, it's what
the fuck?
There are some spooky parts, and then all of a sudden you see stuff, and just like I laughed quite a bit at this movie.
That's how you know you have a bad horror movie,
dude. The dialogue was. There's a part where a guy's about to get murdered, and the noise that he makes right before he gets his face bashed in is just like, ooh.
That's literally the noise.
Ooh. That was so good. I'm just like, what kind of acting choice was that? Why did you keep that? Did you only get one take?
Right. You could have voiceovered it even. Who cares? You could do whatever.
And the scene before that happened was the dude walks. So get this, okay? This is a little bit of a spoiler alert because you're going to know what's coming if you want to see this movie, because I'm explaining to you what happens before the bad guy hits him just because it's so fucking stupid. So he goes into his room. It's raining outside, right? And he goes into his room. Everything's quiet and stuff, and all of a sudden, like, he turns and the window's open. Wasn't open before. Goes over to the window, sees that there are wet footprints into his closet. Walks into his closet, turns on the light, doesn't bother moving a fucking shirt. Just click.
Just stands
looks
there.
Around.
Yep.
Grabs a towel, wipes up the water, crawls in the bed, and goes to sleep. Are you shitting me? Then I'm getting out my fucking shotgun. I'm clearing the whole house like a goddamn SWAT team. This guy just dries up the water like whatever happens every day. Footprints into my closet.
No big deal.
Hey, footprints into the closet. Everyday thing. You know.
It's just normal here.
What are you gonna do? It's past my bedtime.
Gotta get my 8 hours.
Gotta get that beauty sleep.
What the fuck, dude?
Could somebody murder in my sleep? Sure, but if I spend any more time on this problem, I'm not gonna get my sleep, and I get those bags under my eyes. I look like shit. I gotta go to bed right now.
Right now. Wipe this up. Bed.
No point in delving into this further. I've done a lot of weird, shady shit. The movie will show later that I've definitely dealt with some shady characters. There's a very good chance that somebody could be seeking revenge. I have been hearing rumors about other people getting murdered. There were water footprints into my closet. I've got to go to bed. This is just too much to take in right now.
What the
Dude, and then the twist.
Cry laughing right now.
The twist.
So stupid.
The twist at the end It's like
Oh
the
no.
whole movie.
There's a twist ending too.
I'm playing along with the whole thing,
Uh,
and you're just kind of like, what could it be? She says something about like how she's always wanted a blood relative, and you're like, she doesn't know her childhood. She's like everything before she was 8, she's
yeah.
unaware of, and she was
Classic
adopted.
video game thing where you just like,
Yeah,
I'm a character and I have no idea what's going on, even though I'm
dude.
22 years old.
So this is another part that like hit me like just stupid as hell, where like she's adopted, I'm adopted.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to a point where like these ladies are like 30 something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one lady says something, and the other lady is like, I'm adopted. I was actually like, I don't know anything about my childhood before I was 8. And the other girl's like, what? Oh, that's nuts. Like, you guys are supposedly like best friends. She knew this shit. You never told your fucking sister. You know that she's not your sister. You never told her. Like, just
You
so
just held on to
stupid.
this for 20 some years. For
Until
over 20
somebody,
years.
until whatever happened, and then it's stupid. Just so many dumb things. She's
And
got to
also,
try.
how do you have no memory? Like, because you were adopted, you just fucking have
No,
no memory?
no. So she doesn't have any memory, because it does make sense that she doesn't have any memory, because there's like crazy stuff that goes on
Oh,
in
okay.
this movie. But
Okay.
the whole,
But
so
I'm
you
just like, you have memories from when you're 2 until you're
right,
8. Like, that
yeah.
doesn't make any fucking sense. So,
Well,
okay, they
yeah,
explain that at
yeah.
least.
Well, so you get to this like point, you're getting towards the end of the movie, and like the whole time they're kind of dropping these hints, because there is a killer on the loose. There's somebody going killing, and you see this person in the movie.
Oh,
Like you see him actually murder people, so you know that there's
well,
something going on. And the whole time they're running around and they're doing stuff, and then you have her trying like saying things where it's like foreshadowing, where like, I've always
oh,
wanted a blood relative,
right,
and
right.
you're just
Okay,
like, makes sense, because she's trying to have a baby or whatever,
sure.
and she miscarried a couple times. Like, that's told to you right away, no
Right,
spoiler there.
okay.
But like, you're just like, okay, she's always wanted a blood relative. Like, surprise twist, she's always had one. Is that what's coming? So like,
Right, yeah.
okay, a huge spoiler alert.
This is just gonna spoil the whole movie.
This is
Here it
gonna
is.
this is gonna spoil the whole movie. So like, I'll try to pay attention to the time here. Skip forward like a minute and a half now if you don't want to hear it.
Okay, go.
The Malignant is the name of the movie because there's like when you have a baby that dies when they're
Mhm,
twins, it
mhm.
becomes a tumor technically.
Yep, a
It's
malignant.
malignant because like the murderer is her, but it's her like twin coming out of the back of her fucking head, and she's like,
Oh
it's been
god.
her the whole time, but she doesn't know it, because like it's her twin brother, and he's evil.
Oh my god.
And there was a couple parts of the movie where I noticed that the like thing that they had running around, like its limbs bent backwards, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're making it look creepier because its arms bent backwards. That's why it looks creepy. And then when they reveal the twist, I'm like, oh no, it was legitimately just running backwards, because
Oh.
the face is on the opposite side of the head or
Is that
whatever.
it?
And it's just so dumb. And like the skull like splits open and the fucking face comes out and shit every time it goes into that. And then like it gets to a point where like once the secret's
Oh
finally
boy.
revealed, after they reveal everything, it
Yeah.
goes into this crazy like
You're in your time limit, so are you gonna spoil more?
am I? Was
Yeah.
that, I thought
Yeah.
I had until the
Oh, okay. You got 10 more seconds.
I, it goes into this like crazy Matrix scene where she's like taking out a whole police,
Oh, Jesus.
everybody. There. This isn't
Are
this.
you serious?
I'll tone this down, because if you skip this far forward, you won't be able to tell. But there's a scene earlier where it was having
That's
trouble with
so
one
ridiculous.
person. The bad guy was having trouble with one person, and then it can just like, all of a sudden
And then by the end of the movie, it does that.
it's a goddamn superhero at the end of the movie. It's, dude, there's so much wrong with it. It was stupid. Where we got done with it, and both me and my wife were like, that was a dumb fucking movie. Some people are like, you either love it or you hate it. I'm right in the middle. Like, they had some good stuff. stupid stuff. I laughed at some of the weird pull-ins that they had with the dramatic music.
What?
There's one scene where there's like a guy dead in the bathtub, and they show it, and you could see it, and the camera like pulls in closer, 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 closer. He doesn't move at all, and it goes. Reep. You're just like, I saw the dead guy 10 seconds ago.
The dead guy doesn't like shift or twitch or make an eye blink or something.
They just make a loud noise before the scene changes.
Who the fuck edited that thing?
I don't know. Just the noise hits, and I'm just like, okay, all right.
Who is that person?
I don't know. Right?
Why did that have to be so dramatic?
Yeah, that's I was laughing too. I don't know if like people didn't put some of this shit together, but there was certain parts where the music cues didn't make any sense. Like, you should have hit us with that fucking rip the moment you showed the dead body. And instead you dramatically pull in on the body. Nothing happens at all. You just give us a loud cue.
What the hell? Where was the producer on this fucking thing?
Dude, no idea. It's like, seems like such a hodgepodge fucking setup where, like, I'm telling you, there's a couple guys that had some good ideas, and the rest of it was like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Oh, I'm fucking losing my breath over here.
And apparently this guy was like a producer of like another like good horror movie. I can't remember what it was, but like he had some chops where they're just like,
Sure.
Oh, I'm so excited for this new guy's movie. It's just fucking dumb. I do not like it.
Do you think you saw the other guys? Do you think you saw the other movie that the guy produced?
Oh, I'm almost positive.
Yeah,
I see most.
Seen like everyone.
yeah, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, and it got like a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
And you're like,
or like a 6. No, that's what it was. It was like a 6 on IMDb, and it chapter 2 got a 6.3, and I'm like, who the fuck is grading this stuff? It chapter 2 got 0.3 better than this fucking garbage. Just like, what the hell? It chapter 1 got 6.7. That's one of the best remake horror films I've ever seen.
Sure. Yeah.
It's so good. And 0.7.
And you're talking about It, the movie, when you say It.
Yes, It, the movie, and the remake.
Right.
The first one was a little bit...
Wasn't that directed by Rob Zombie?
I don't know. Rob Zombie made the Halloweens, though.
Oh.
Those remake Halloweens are fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. Those Rob Zombie makes some brutal shit.
Yeah. I heard he's crazy good at what he does.
Okay, on to have you seen Squid Game?
No, I haven't. So we can't get into that.
No, we can't get into that either because I've only seen. Yeah, I have too. Me and my wife have got halfway through the first episode, and she's like, "I think this sucks," and I'm like, "Clearly more happens. I know it's not that great right now, but clearly more happens. Yeah. There's no way everybody's
Game of Thrones was the same way for me. Like I had to get through the first. I had to get through like an episode and a half until I got into it.
Really? Game of Thrones, my first episode I watched, wanted me to watch, like made me want to watch more. And it was like some promo deal where it only gave me the first episode. And I was like, are you shitting me? I don't get to watch anymore? Oh. Like I was sold on the first episode. When I saw the White Walkers, what did it for me?
Ah, right.
I was and like,
then you don't see him again until the last season. So you're like,
which fuck? Really, what a sales pitch. I really wanted
I'm gonna rope you in for 7 more years.
Yeah, but the Squid Game. I mean, it starts off basically like selling the character. Like he's kind of a shitty dad, and they show him like eating food and like trying to gamble and stuff. And Shannon's like, I don't really like this. And it's just like clearly this isn't the movie. They're building this character.
Yeah.
Because that's all the farther we've got. So I'm not spoiling anything. Like you'll watch it and you'll see. He just they definitely want you to know straight out the gate. He's got a gambling problem.
Right. They're building a character for sure. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you're saying stick with it, which is the only advice I've heard so far. Everyone else is just like, do it, watch it.
I haven't seen past, we're like halfway through the first episode because sometimes we're watching half episodes.
Right.
We put our kid to sleep, and whatever time we actually get him to sleep, then we watch
Right.
TV until we got to go to bed. And we're like,
So
fuck,
you
I
fall
want to.
asleep.
Yeah, I want to see the rest of this episode, but I have not slept a lot this week. I really need to
Right.
go to bed now.
I think it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, and I have a
know.
feeling that
It's hard.
something good is coming, and I need to shut this off before we get to the good part. Otherwise, I'm not going to go to sleep.
Right.
So
Which is why we
far-
do a lot of rewatching on my side of the
Yeah, so far
the
I'm
mic
like
here.
just like degenerate gambler, whatever. Click. And shut up.
I gotta go.
Yep. So is there anything that you're watching new? Or are you
No,
just rewatching
dude.
everything?
No. Yeah, we're watching like Rick and Morty. Dude, Triple D. You know the Triple D
What's Triple D?
franchise with Guy Fieri?
Oh,
Diners, Drive-Ins,
yeah.
Dives.
Shannon watches that all the time.
Yeah, we watch it all the time. We've been rewatching it without knowing there's like over 10 new episodes and they're still dropping. Like he's released 2 new seasons since we got Discovery Plus, and we
Really?
haven't been watching them because we didn't know he was fucking making them.
Damn, dude.
It's
That
crazy.
That's just on like Hulu or something too. Shannon watches it all the time.
They have a select version. They have a select thing of Food Network that's on Hulu. On Discovery Plus, it's all there. All the new episodes are dropping like the day after they go live on Food Network. So like, yeah. But it was crazy. It's just crazy to think like this dude's fucking has made 2 seasons, and we watched the first 3 episodes and we were like, oh yeah, okay, I guess he's making more. And then he's put out like 2 seasons since, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. He's also put out a Hawaiian show, like the Fieris Go to Hawaii. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This guy is endless.
The Fieris Go to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. It's just like this dude is endless work. It's crazy.
All the time.
It's absolutely nuts.
Guy Fieri Bear.
Fieri Bear? What's that?
Guy Fieri. You remember at Sam's bachelor party? Kind of inside joke. I thought you would think it was funny. Yeah. We just had like some weird blonde wig that we put on a stuffed bear that they had in the cabin. We just called him Guy Fieri Bear.
Guy Fieri Bear because he had the hair. Oh, that was amazing.
If you guys haven't heard, oh god damn it, who's got that joke?
I know, because that joke is, I think about it all the time because I'm constantly watching Guy Fieri shit on Discovery Plus. I said,
is it said like that? Or it's Fieri, right?
No, Fieri's his real name. Like that's the Italian version.
That's how you say it?
Yeah,
because it's spelled with an R.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
No, that's how he says it. I'm Guy Fieri, and this is Triple D. Yeah.
Okay.
That's because that's how you say it in Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like that's the Italian pronunciation from what I.
Shane Torres.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't heard Shane Torres's joke about Guy Fieri, go check it out.
Go check it out.
That's a good
because it
joke.
Also has an Anthony Bourdain reference, who was one of my favorites of all time to watch, and it's so fucking true.
Yeah,
it's so true.
It is, and the end of the joke is so fucking good. I still quote that shit all the time. But I'll just tell you, go.
But just go look it up. Let's not spoil it here.
Yep. Go look it up. I could recite the whole joke word for word, but are we getting close to the end here?
Yep, we are. I was just about to wrap it up. What you got?
I got to tell you about the last crazy ass thing about what I want to watch. Not what I'm watching now, but I know that there's something, and it ties into Discovery Plus because we're talking about it. Because, what is that guy's name? Is it Chris Hansen? Is he the To Catch a Predator guy?
Hansen. He's the Catch a Predator guy.
Yeah, Catch a Predator guy. Yeah. So I heard him on YMH podcast. He actually went.
He was on Your Mom's House podcast.
Yeah, dude.
He was a guest.
Mm-hmm. And they were kind of interviewing him a little bit and asking him questions, which is super cool. That's why they ended up getting into like the whole cool guy club because those are all cool guys. All the guys that he deals with are cool guys.
Oh, of course they
show up with a condom and a 6-pack of beer to some underage girl's
wine
house.
Coolers, dude. It's not beer, it's wine coolers. Jeez.
Wine coolers. They actually get into that. I think it's only like one time a guy showed up with wine coolers. The rest of them like could give a shit less, where they're just like, I brought beer, and like, that little girl wants to drink wine coolers over beer, dude. Think about when you were 12 idiot.
Right. Creepy bastards. But
Creemer.
anyways, so
So
he's on your
so
mom's house.
he's on Your Mom's House podcast, and they're talking about stuff, and they talk about a documentary that he was, I don't know if he produced it or what,
Okay.
but I think it's actually a season, but it's on
Okay.
the Discovery Plus, and it is called Unseemly because
Oh,
it's
that's
like
a gross name.
yes, well, he's like this guy is Peter Nygaard. You ever heard of Peter Nygaard?
Mm-mm.
So Peter Nygaard was, I guess, like, because it's called Unseemly, it's, like a pun with unseen, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then he made pants.
Oh, okay.
Chris Hansen said that, like, if you were a woman and you bought pants like in the 90s, there's a pretty good chance that he made them. Like, he's just
Oh,
filthy rich.
huh.
And
Okay.
there's a lot of sexual scandals and like brutal rape and torture and I guess stuff like that through him. But the part that
What the
sold me, that
fuck?
was like, I got to check this out, is the most movie villainous thing I've ever heard from a real life person in my
Oh no.
entire life.
What? And we live
He,
next to the place that fucking
yeah.
had the clown
Oh, dude.
fucking boy
I've
fucker
well,
in
I've heard.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, no, that was the. You're mixing up your serial killers. I like
Oh,
serial
am I?
killers too.
I know
You're
you.
the Wisconsin guy was uh
Well, Dahmer was over there too.
Dahmer. The other guy
There's
was
more
from
than one.
Chicago. There's more. Yeah, the other guy was from Chicago, the clown guy.
Oh, he's from
Gacy.
Chicago.
Gacy, I think, was
Gacy.
Chicago.
Yep, John Wayne's Gacy. Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy, the clown. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. But so
Ugh.
yeah, that's all just like
Having known all
demented.
that shit, this is still more
Well, that
villainous.
yeah, because that's all demented serial killer stuff. Like, those guys are just like
Ah,
murdering, like,
right.
this is the villainous thing.
Okay.
So this guy, trigger warning for anybody. I'm about to
God.
tell you, like, it's not just maybe just cut off here if you
Just,
don't
just maybe
if
cut off here. We'll end the podcast soon.
if you can't handle
Fucked up
certain
shit.
I'm not gonna, it's not real graphic, but here we go. This guy was raping underage girls, getting them pregnant, having them abort the fetuses,
Yeah.
and then using the stem cell fetus, like, from the fetuses to
No.
keep himself young.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he was.
South Park made fun of that so many
I
years ago.
know. Is that not the most, like, villainous thing you've ever heard?
Oh my god.
Yeah, Superman was doing it.
Yeah.
He-
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He was cracking the fetuses open and sucking
Yeah,
it straight out of their neck.
Yeah.
This guy was seriously doing that?
Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't working.
Like,
He
12-year-old girls.
He wasn't ingesting those stem cells properly though to make it actually work.
He had scientists help, like, actually, like, he was having him create the stem cells out of the fetuses and then injecting
Who would
them.
help him? Oh, like, how would he explain what the
money,
fuck,
dude?
dude?
It's people like that give these rumors.
That's
like,
how QAnon is.
legs
Like,
to stand
it's
on.
fucked up
Yeah.
people like that give Q fuel.
That give, like, the elitists are killing
Yep.
babies. It's like that one guy does it.
That one guy did it. Yep. Uh-huh.
And now they're just like, they all do it. Like,
Yep.
no, they fucking don't. They
No,
have
they
souls. You don't have people, like, lovable like that are just diabolical monsters at the same time.
Right. Yeah. Like, that's 1 in a billion sort of person. So there's
Yes,
7 of those people living in the world right now.
Yeah, because even though, like, actors sometimes can be a little bit, like, they play a role, they can be, like, dissociative. They're a little bit weird sometimes to be able to get in that headspace.
Yeah.
That doesn't make them able
psychopaths.
They don't have the ability to not care about murdering. Well, I shouldn't say murder. We don't need to have people being like,
getting on you about abortion,
murder or whatever. Yeah, just like, but like raping children and aborting fetuses to try to keep themselves young.
Right.
Like, there's one guy that can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like, that's not a widespread